Iran faces an absolute disaster right now as temperatures are rising, continually rising, and the drought is worsening. If you were to ask me the words of the Bible, I will bless those that bless Israel and curse those who curse Israel is really happening. It's boots on the ground reality right now, in my opinion, in Iran. Hang tight and we'll boil it all down right here. According to the Iranian president, he says, we do not have water. This is a quote. We do not have water. We do not have water under our feet, and we do not have water behind our dams. So you tell me what to do. That's his quote. They're trying to find a way forward. Right now in Iran, this is a critical moment for them as they continue in their hatred of Israel, their damnation of the people of Israel, their hope that it would be destroyed. Their end goal of annihilating the Jews continues as this all of a sudden drought happens. And if you were to ask the professionals that don't get it, that don't understand a biblical narrative, well, they're saying things like, this is outrageous. Just the last 4 months, we've seen a 40% decrease in rain in Iran. Guys, this seems pretty obvious if you're looking through a biblical lens. And maybe some of you are going, well, guys, that's biblical, but we're dealing with practical. No, guys, it's meshed. I don't know if you guys lift up your eyes a little bit. Let's look at the world. The Jewish people are back in their homeland. Prophecy is becoming a reality in our day. It's not just some fairy tale thing that's up in the clouds somewhere. It's a reality. And when you curse Israel, there is a curse. And if you were to say what kind of curses are in historic fashion towards nations that came against Israel and tried to annihilate the Jewish people, there were very real and tangible things that happened to those countries. Long list of things that happened to countries throughout the ages, historically confirmed. Even if we go all the way back to Bible times, look at all the list of nations that came against Israel and tried to destroy, eradicate the Jewish people from the planet completely, not just Israel, but all across the world. We look at the Egyptians. Well, that's pretty easy. We all know that story. What did they do? And my goodness, was that not some intervention by God Almighty on behalf of his people to get them out of that terrible situation? And that curse that the Egyptians laid on the Jewish people, boy, did that end up not so well for the Egyptians. And we could continue. The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Ottomans. Yeah, that list continues all throughout ancient history of people that tried to annihilate the Jews and were not successful and ended up being just another people group of history that was literally just in the pages of history. They don't exist anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Iran is on a warpath just like that. The president continued, he said, in terms of water resources, we are in a severe and unimaginable crisis due to unplanned management. Hey guys, we'll be right back. But first, I want to give you something practical you can do to support Israel. If you, like many people I know, love Israel, but aren't able to make it over here to the Holy Land, or if you are inspired by the Jewish families living out God's promises on the front lines, or if you simply want to walk in God's word to Abraham in Genesis 12 of blessing the nation of Israel, then you need to check out our friends over at Blessed by Israel. What these guys do is bring the amazing products of the families of the biblical heartland of Israel all around the world, from the land of Israel straight to your doorstep. You can enjoy awesome products like extra virgin olive oil, coffee roasted to perfection by Agro Cafe, which I absolutely love, and drink at least 1 cup a day here in our office. Delicious raw honey, jewelry, organic spices, handcrafted ceramics, and much, much more, all from the wonderful, small, family-owned businesses in Israel. Be a part of encouraging and investing in the people of Israel and enjoy high-quality products at the same time. Head over to blessedbyisrael.com to purchase beautiful boutique products and make your impact today. Use the code INVEST for $5 off your first order at blessedbyisrael.com. You can find the link in the description below. So get this. Israel actually has less natural water resources than Iran does. Iran has more water, just talking naturally. They have more water than Israel. Israel has planned. And without the systems that Israel has in place, that they recycled 90% of their water, most water recycled in the entire planet by a long shot. Other countries recycle things like, 15 to 20%, something like that. Israel is way beyond all the other countries when it comes to water recycling. And that, along with their desalination plants all throughout the country, have now been a part of that physical reality that has allowed the millions of Jewish people coming back from all the nations of the world to Israel to be successful. Otherwise, they would have been in a crisis just like Iran, with no water for their people. And that's the crisis Iran faces now. They didn't plan for this moment. When the dams are dry, let's go through a little bit of the, we've got 50 million Iranians could be forced out of their homes due to this. I'm talking about mass crisis. It's called a curse. Mass. 50 million people moved out of their homes due to no water. This is what they're looking at right now. Rainfall has dropped approximately 40% over the past 4 months. You can't get around that. That's directly connected to what's happening here. This is directly connected to their attacks against Israel. In my opinion, it's being met with a reality. This is the reality of attacking the Jewish people. I know a lot of people just going to disagree with that, but there's a lot of history to back up my point here. Some of the reservoirs nationwide are empty. Or almost empty right now. One of the reports said 57% of the dams are completely dry. All right. The president also warned that the taps may just run dry by September or October. And he said that they may run dry unless water usage drops significantly. So unless the people reduce, he urged a 20% reduction of usage in orders that they don't run completely out of water. I mean, that's a massive thing. He's using the term water bankruptcy is being used across Iran now to describe the situation. We've got it's a real breakdown of water supply. They just don't have water. And I asked the question, Iran's been around for a long time. Is this not something that happened before? And it seems that this is a fairly, I don't remember something like this happening before. Well, and a lot of it's a little bit out of their hands. It's called an act of God, as the insurance companies would say. An act of God that is out of our hands. When heat rises to the temperatures of 50 degrees Celsius, and in some places almost 53 degrees Celsius, guys, that's unbelievable. 100 plus, 115, 120 degrees across Iran. This is setting records that this has not been seen before. Act of God. Heat hitting this levels, drying out any water supply they have left. Not just this year, but going back 5 years, they've been hit with drought after drought after drought throughout the whole country. And then this is also coupled with blackouts across the country because they don't have power. Electricity is also failing. Water's failing. Electricity's failing. With up to 12 hours a day without electricity. It's routine power outages all across the country now. Benjamin Netanyahu sent this video out to the Iranian people. He made it very clear that he's talking to the Iranian people and not the Iranian regime that's holding the people captive in Israel's view of, and I would agree with them, the terrible regime that's holding the people of Iran. There's got to be some good people in Iran. There's millions of people in Iran. How are they not some good people? Of course, there's got to be some good people there. And this is what Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, said to them. Watch this clip here.
Today I'm going to make an unprecedented offer to Iran. It relates to water. The Iranian people are victims of a cruel and tyrannical regime that denies them vital water. Israel stands with the people of Iran, and that is why I want to help save countless Iranian lives. Here's how. Iran's meteorological organization says that nearly 96% of Iran suffers from some levels of drought. Issa Kalantari, a former Iranian agriculture minister, said that 50 million Iranians could be forced out of their homes due to environmental damage. 50 million. Millions of Iranian children are suffering due to mismanagement, to incompetence, and the theft of vital resources by the Iranian regime. Now, Israel also has water challenges. We've developed cutting-edge technologies to address them. Israel recycles nearly 90% of its wastewater. That's far more than any other country on earth. We invented drip irrigation. Our technology targets individual plants with exactly the nutrients they need for each plant. Israel has the know-how to prevent environmental catastrophe in Iran. I want to share this information with the people of Iran. Sadly, Iran bans Israelis from visiting, so we'll have to get creative. We will launch a Farsi website with detailed plans on how Iranians can recycle their wastewater. We will show how Iranian farmers can save their crops and feed their families. The Iranian regime shouts death to Israel. In response, Israel shouts life to the Iranian people. The people of Iran are good and decent. They shouldn't have to face such a cruel regime alone. We are with you. We will help so that millions of Iranians don't have to suffer. The hatred of Iran's regime will not stop the respect and the friendship between our two peoples.
Okay, so you talk about your worst enemy, and you reach out to them with blessing, and you say, I want to help you in this time of crisis. And it's met with this. This is AP News said this. The Iranian president mocked the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's offer to help with the Iranian water crisis. So they're responding with, yeah, right. Well, if you look at the facts, Israel is the most prepared and ready to help someone in this. They have the best water management systems in the entire world. But Iran mocks and says, and he continued, a regime that deprives people of Gaza from water and food says it will bring water to Iran. Haha, right? A mirage. Nothing more. The former Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, also just a few days ago responded with another offer to Iran, exactly as Bibi Netanyahu did. These two high-level politicians in Israel are saying we want to help the people, the good people of Iran, with systems that we have. We've tested it. It works. Israel could be a blessing to Iran, but Iran will not receive it. They will not receive it. They believe so much the propaganda that's coming out of Gaza, so much they don't believe that Israel has good in their hearts to the good people of Iran, and they will continue to fall just like every other nation that rose against and tried to annihilate the Jewish people. They failed. Iran will be another example of that in the very near future if they do not make a change, or if the people of Iran don't rise up and say, we want to receive the blessings that Israel is trying to offer to us. And maybe that sounds high in the sky. No, it's a real reality. The people are about to, many would be dying of thirst if they don't get help, but they're refusing help from the one and only country that can really provide the best of help, and that is Israel. And the fact that Israel would even want to help them is beyond. Your worst enemy, you're going to reach out and want to give them water? Only Israel. Only Israel would offer such a thing. I want to bring it up to modern history with nations that also, we talked about ancient countries that tried to annihilate the Jewish people. What about countries now? And in our just recent history, the British stood against Israel coming back in 1948 immensely until later they backed the Arabs to here. There was a horrible history here. And what do you see? As soon as the British failed to stand with the Jewish people and establish the state of Israel, what happened? They lost massively. They're not a global empire anymore. They were. They failed. And then Germany, they were rising and they fell. They fell massively. They're no empire. They attempted to be, but they failed massively after, of course, the atrocities to the Jewish people. And today, even the war surrounding 1948, even with Egypt and Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, all these countries came against Israel. Israel's still here. And yet all those countries are continuing to fall. They're not rising, they're falling. They're falling apart, many of them being taken over by radical Islam or other things that are just destroying them. Water crisis in Iran. I think today Iran is the number one enemy of the Jewish people. And what's happening to them? The same thing that happened to every country throughout history that chose to rise against and fight God's people and not support them. I want to make that very clear today, and I hope all of you that are listening are taking note. There's a reality at play in the world, and we've got a lot of history to back it. You may think I'm crazy. All those people across the world that are looking at Israel as some modern colonial state taking over someone else's ancient lands. You can fight all you want. It's not the truth. The lies will not prevail in the end. They just won't. And in fact, the countries that promote those lies and those agendas and those horrible misinformation wars against Israel, what will happen to them? They'll fall. They'll continue to fall. Yet Israel will continue to rise. Israel is moving forward and becoming stronger every single day. My plea to all of those out there that are watching is stand with Israel like never before. Not because it's just going to help you somehow. No, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do to stand with the people of Israel. It's the right thing to do for your own personal life. In many senses, you want that blessing that's also been displayed throughout history. Those that stood with Israel, there will be a blessing. Stand with Israel, guys, and don't forget, support Blessed by Israel. Go to blessedbyisrael.com right now. Pick up some products. That's one great way of being a blessing to the pioneers, the faithful pioneers across the mountains of Judea and Samaria, those that are establishing the ancient homeland. Once again, do that. And guys, as always, we'll be back here at the Israel Guys real soon.